Hey mama, are you a multi-passionate mom who is juggling all the things, nursing a baby, battling laundry, trying to keep it together and keep a spicy marriage, and feeling like you're feeling all of it? What's up? I'm Ashley Carroll. I'm here to hold your hand through this process because I believe when you're ready to take control of your life, beat the limiting excuses, step into your own power, you can not only survive, but you can thrive. But you're gonna have to show up for yourself. It's time for me to tough love your way through prioritization, taking self-care seriously, getting rid of excuses, reconnecting with your family, kids, and spouse, and quite honestly, learning to love the chaos because the glory is in the journey. It's in the mess. In this podcast, you will find balance for busy mamas, navigating mom guilt, time management strategies, and everything in between with no fluff and lots of fun. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, I know you hate me by now. Maybe you don't. I thought that my last episode was going to be super offensive, but my husband said I actually did a good job. But he's always on my side. So you guys need to tell me. Hop in the Facebook group, So She Grows Mom Community. Let me know your thoughts about those reasons that I feel like you really need to celebrate Valentine's Day for. Today, I'm going to be talking about what I mentioned in the last podcast, and that is kind of this waiting around for others to do for you what you should have already done for yourself. And I think that we do this not purposefully. I think that we do this because we are just so habitually willing to put other people in front of us. And then when the time comes, like we get 30 minutes here, it's a holiday there. There's just not enough time to fill up the cup that we have left empty for so long, if that makes sense. So I want to kind of give you a little backstory here to help you understand what I'm talking about. And I got this concept initially from Jamie at the Mac House. I think that's her IG, but she was talking about this a long, long time ago on one of her stories. And I was like, oh, dang, I've never thought of that before. And it really made me realize that I was doing the same thing. And then once I became aware of it, I'm now able to get ahead of it and not let it ruin holidays or those times when I do get an hour to myself. And I'm not perfect. I still drop the ball because I just suck at doing things for myself and taking care of myself and putting myself first or balancing life. But so let me paint a picture in your head to give you a little perspective about what I'm going to be talking about. Imagine you have 30 minutes that you know is going to be free time. You have nothing to do. The dishes are done. You just know it's going to be a dead 30 minutes. And all of a sudden you're like, or it's an hour, or it's Valentine's Day that's coming up. And you know that your husband is willing to take the kids and give you time to yourself. Or, the kids are somewhere, they're playing. So now the clock has started, right? The kids have left the driveway. They're off. You're finally alone and you're scrambling because you are suddenly thinking about all the things that you need in the short amount of time that you deprived yourself for several months, right? Like now you would like a mask. You would like to do a bath. You would like to read that book that you always wanted to read. You also want to spend time with your family to do nothing. Like you just want to go out, go hike, go play with them, spend quality time with them because you guys have been just so go, go, go. You would like to do a date with your husband. You just want your husband to sit next to you. And you don't even have to say anything. You just want quality time with him. You would like a massage because your muscles are so sore and you have 1,000 knots. You also want to go shopping because Lord knows you need more jeans because it's been 6 seasons since you've updated your wardrobe and your butt is 2 times too big now for your pants that you currently have, right? Tell me if you can relate to this, right? Instead, you go and you scroll on your phone. Or if it's Valentine's Day, this was my struggle. Tell me if you can relate to this. It's Valentine's Day and my husband asks, what do you want to do for Valentine's Day this year? I'm like, or Mother's Day. Mother's Day was a really big triggering one for me because it's supposed to be all about me, right? So he would be like, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? And I'd be like, well, I really want to take a nap. I could really, really use some sleep, but I also don't want to waste the day by sleeping. But I also want to spend time with the kids because I want them to be involved in Mother's Day since it's kind of like a family day. And then I feel guilty if I'm not with them. And I really like to go to that restaurant that we always talked about going to that we never have time to go to, but obviously the lines are really long probably today. And I also want to go get a massage because that hasn't been done for months and that would be just so amazing to get a massage. But I also want to spend time with you, just me and you, no kids. And then you're torn. And now you have to pick just one thing because you can't do all the things, or maybe two things, right? For me, it was settling for the thing that I felt that would give me the least amount of guilt. So I would then go out to dinner or lunch with the family, but I'd still walk away feeling depleted, right? And I feel like this is a safe space because if you could totally relate to that, it's hard to be a mother and feel all these, like the multitude of different feelings and wanting to be in several different places, like feeling pulled in all the directions all at one time because you didn't service yourself for several months and it led up to this one day, and you can't make everybody happy and you can't make yourself happy. And so it's this struggle of, I need all these things. I also want all these things, and I can't be in all these places all at one time. And then as moms have it, we have that great blessing of mom guilt. So we're trying to balance, okay, what is the thing that will least cause me trouble right now? And you settle, and we settle for that thing. Now, many of you are in this place right now, and many of you have been playing this game of whack-a-mole of like, here comes the holiday, they want to know how to serve me. I just tell them I just want a cute note and breakfast in bed because that's easy. Like, we keep depriving ourselves, and then we are limited to what we can accomplish. So then we settle, and then it goes on and on and on. And it's this game that becomes very hard to manage after a while because you're still depleted. You know that saying that like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And your cup is consistently being dry, even though people are saying, how can I help you, right? And so they can only do so much. There comes a time where you cannot rely on somebody else to give you happiness because their ability to give that to you is very limited. However, you have the control to do things throughout the month, throughout the year that will bring you back to life and give you the gift of sanity, give you the gift of peace, rest, care, quality time, being valued, all those things that we can't get in a day. And so I would find myself going to my husband like, I need all these things, and also having the struggle of not being able to verbalize it because it had been so long that they just pile up that I wouldn't be able to be like, well, I really want you to give me flowers because I want to feel like I'm valued. But I also want you to send me on a massage because, I need blah, 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 right? So I wouldn't be able to verbalize it. So not only are we self-sabotaging, because that's what I'm going to call it, is self-sabotaging ourselves because we are not being consistent in putting ourselves first over others, and we wait till a holiday or a special day for others to do for us what we should have already done for ourselves. But we're also not probably being very communicative with our spouse or with our family about what it is that we need. And then we expect them to figure that out. Like, don't you know that I haven't been sleeping this whole time? Don't you know that I like work myself to the bone with these kids? Y'all, they cannot read our minds. That was something that was very hard for me to understand too, is that like, I thought it was so apparent. Like, I thought that visually everybody should know how hard I work. Everybody should be able to see and guess that I need this and I need that, or I'd like this and I'd like that. But then I was also internally struggling with, man, I really want to spend time with my kids. Like I want to have a picnic and watch them play, but I'm also freaking exhausted. I can't remember the last time I went shopping by myself without a kid screaming in a stroller. I can't remember the last time I got a massage. Like, so all these things, right? So then on Valentine's Day, I'd be like, I just want to relax. Well, relax could mean a lot of things. And now that my plate has been piled so high and I've never done any of these preventative things to keep myself from burnout, now just one massage isn't enough. Or just one dinner with my family isn't filling my cup, because I truly need so much more than that at this point, that now I'm placing it on you to provide it for me, or somebody else to provide it for me. And when they don't meet those expectations, which, hey, nobody can, like, you placing your happiness in somebody else's hand is like saying, here, drive my car from the passenger seat. it's just not a good idea, right? Like they can't manage the vehicle when you're still trying to drive the car. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this or not. This is something that maybe just a personal struggle for myself because of this, that, and the other, who knows? But I thought that I would share because usually when one of us struggles with something, surely somebody else can sort of relate to that. And for so long, I was never given the words to put to those thoughts or those feelings. And then once I was able to, I was like, oh, this is why whenever Mother's Day comes up and I'm so torn inside about what to do, and I choose this one thing, or I say, I just want breakfast in bed, and, like I'm still, or I expect somebody to provide for me what I need and should have done for myself without either communicating clearly or assuming that they know what I need, or even after communicating what it is that I need, still not feeling like it's enough, which sounds so selfish, and it sounds so, what do you want to call it? I don't know, like you're asking for a lot, high maintenance, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It just sounds like so much to ask of somebody. That is why. It's because this whole time you've been depleting yourself, and now this person comes to you and says, what do you want to do for your birthday? What do you want to do? Hey, I'll give you 30 minutes. What do you want to do with that 30 minutes? Like, I'll watch the kids for the weekend, and then you're just like, oh crap. And you're like rushing. And then typically what happens is you end up scrolling on your phone because you didn't make the appointment for the massage, so there's no openings. You can't go get a facial because it's an hour wait. You can't go get your nails done because by the time your kids get back, there won't be enough time. Like this, that, and the other, right? It's because we did not plan for this time. We did not give ourselves this space and taking care of ourselves to prevent burnout or to prevent resentment or to rely on others to give to ourselves what we should have already done for ourselves. And newsflash, if you're scrolling on your phone, yes, it can be relaxing, sort of, because your mind is being essentially like on the back burner. You feel like you're just mindlessly scrolling. You're kind of down timing yourself, but it can also continue to perpetuate that cycle because you're seeing other people doing things that fuel them, like they're going to get a massage, their spouse did this, right? So now we're not only already feeling resentful for those around us for not providing what we should do for ourselves, which is not their responsibility, but now we have social media pushing the fact that we are feeling less than because somebody looks a certain way, or they get to do something, or their spouse thought of this or that and the other. But we need to be taking care of ourselves. Not to be confused with when I say you should do for yourself what, instead of expecting other people to do for you. Not like, oh, I'm this Miss Independent Woman, I don't need you. Like, that is far from what I'm saying. I'm saying when it comes to your care, only you can control the wheel. You know what is going to bring you back to life. You know what's going to prevent burnout, whether it's a nap. So we need to start allowing for that and not waiting until these momentous days like this holiday, this 30 minutes, this day that our kids are going to be gone, unless we have done the work beforehand, right? Like if you have taken on your time to schedule the massage the week before, you went to the chiropractor the week before that, you went for a jog, you're reading, like whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be these grandiose things. It's just, are you taking care of yourself, and are you taking time and prioritizing your wellness, your mental health, your well-being, instead of waiting to a holiday for somebody to do for you what you should have already done for yourself. And I wasn't doing those things. And so when these days came up, I felt shortchanged. I was still yearning for more. I was still feeling empty. At the end of the day, I was still frustrated because I couldn't possibly do all these things. And then my husband couldn't possibly know that I needed all these things. And how could he possibly deliver all those things? Like, I want him to sit next to me. I want us just to connect. I don't want a kid around, but I do want my kids around. I want family time with them. I want one-on-one time with them. I also really would like somebody to take care of my body, right? Like, I want to go to the facialist. I want to go to the esthetician. I want to go to the masseuse. Like, I also would like to sit and read this book that I haven't gotten to do all the time. And I want to try that chocolate at that donut shop that they had, like all these things. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like it's so important, and we aren't aware that we do this because life is so fast and we are always putting somebody first before us. And It's out of love, and we do it because, again, it's just go, go, go. We don't even realize we're doing it. We couldn't possibly have enough time. But I feel like it can get to an unhealthy level because then you start to resent your spouse for not delivering what you asked for or what you thought that they should know that you needed. And then it causes conflict. Because I would always assume, like my birthday, I'm a big birthday person, and maybe you aren't, but maybe it's something else, right? Maybe something else is important to you. And you want them to show up for you in a certain way, whether it's quality time, touch, gifts, whatever, right? And I would want it to be a certain way in my head, and I would just expect them to show up in that way for me because that's what I needed them to show up as. But one, if I don't communicate that, they don't know. Two, there's only so much a human can do to fulfill your needs, to validate your worth, to make you feel what you need to feel, right? I think that has to be pre-work. We need to already be consistently doing that every day, living it out, and it's going to ebb and flow, right? There's going to be seasons where you can do less. There's going to be seasons where you can do more, and I think that that's okay. It's just the fact of not doing and neglecting that care. We have to know what our needs are, be aware of that. Like, do you need time alone? Do you need time to be away from your kids to re-energize yourself, which makes you a better mom, guys? Like, these things that we feel so guilty about doing because it takes us either one, away from our kids, our spouse, or we just feel guilty for asking for it, or we feel like there's not enough time in the day. These things end up giving us life, giving us energy, help us to better serve, help us to be in better moods, which gives others a piece of us tenfold. Like, we show up tenfold, and they reap the benefits tenfold because we are doing for ourselves something so good and so beautiful. It's like whenever you're like dying of thirst and you forget your water bottle in the car and you like don't want to stop and pay for water somewhere and you're like trying to just hustle home to get, and you just can't wait to get a drink of water. Like, that's how bad it feels because that's how your body is like, hey, pay attention to me. We're starving. We need you. Why don't you see that your needs aren't met? Why don't you see that you could help us? Like, we are you. Why aren't you helping yourself? And so I think that we have to listen to that call and that cry and be aware of our needs of, do we need sleep? Do we need naps occasionally? Do we need, do we need to read the book? Put the phone down, read the book. Do we need quality time with our spouse? Are we planning those things? Or are we getting to Mother's Day, getting to Valentine's Day, getting to our birthday, feeling depleted, and then saying, hey, I have all these needs. I hope that you're gonna give me flowers. I hope that you're gonna help me feel like I'm loved. I hope you help me gonna feel like I'm beautiful. I hope you help me to feel like I'm valued, that I'm a great mother, but I also need this, that, and the other, right? So anyways, I don't know if you're in that boat or if you can relate, but I thought I would share that because to me that was such a valuable, insightful piece of information for me to be like, yes, that's exactly what I've been doing. I haven't been taking care of my own needs. And then when my birthday rolls around or another holiday or, the 30 minutes, and I'm trying to verbalize to my husband what it is I want, I can't because there's too much. It's just too much. I can't. Now I feel torn in 1,000 different places because I need so many things in so many different areas and so many different ways to help me feel rejuvenated that I can't pinpoint just one, right? Like, you can't, it just feels chaotic. And again, then you become resentful because they can't deliver all those things and you can't verbalize how you need it. It's just this weird place to be in, and I don't know if you guys can relate to feeling that, but I don't want you to. And I felt so much freedom once I realized that that's what it was. It wasn't that these people couldn't deliver for me. It's that I wasn't delivering for myself. And then I was relying on them because it was this holiday, and I was like, hey, since, because it made me feel less guilty. If they did it for me, then it would be like a gift. It's like saying, here, I don't mind you taking this time off. But for some reason, for me to take that time off and say, hey, babe, I need this time off from the kids. I need to go do this. Can you watch the kids? Can they put themselves down by themselves tonight? Like, that made me feel like a bad mom. It made me feel like I was being over the top or asking too much, right? But then when somebody else gifts it to you, it's like, so much, there's less strings attached to it is what it feels like. So I wanted to give you a piece of that freedom. If you're sitting in a space of feeling like you haven't done all the things, I want you to start doing all the things and not relying on holidays or certain times. Like, those bonus 30 minutes that you get, and then you can't do anything and you end up scrolling on your phone, and you still leave yourself feeling depleted, drained, burnt out. And just be aware of, are you fulfilling your needs? Are you truly taking care of yourself? Do you truly invest time in knowing your worth, knowing that you're great, feeling good about yourself, exercising, whatever it is that you need to feel like you're an accomplished wife, a successful business person, staff member, teammate, that you're well rested, that you feel like your whole body wellness is in a good place, like you're taking those doctor's appointments, you're making time for that. Like and it's not easy, guys. Like, especially when you have little kids, you need babysitters sometimes. Right now it's super hard for me because we have, and especially you if you have little kids, because doctor's offices and places of that such are not allowing you to bring your whole crew with you when you come, which is like, hey, I don't know like how you expect mothers to come up in here, because I'm not going to leave my kids out in the parking lot. Like, what am I supposed to do? You think everybody doesn't work during the day? Can you tell I'm salty about that right now? Because I'm having to navigate around really prioritizing. I need to do this. Corona is making it very hard for me to go places without the kids. And so I need to now be more diligent than ever in making those appointments, getting with my husband and saying, hey, can you come home early? Can you take the kid to work? Can you, like the kids planning something while somebody's in school, somebody else can watch this. Like, we have to be mindful. We got to be like Jedi Knights trying to plan these things in our calendar to make it happen. But it's worth it, because otherwise we're constantly in this cycle of burnout, depletion, tired, frustrated, angry, upset, resentful, and it's not good. Like, it's especially when it involves other people, right? Because they're like, what? I tried to give you this and I don't understand. And you're like, but it wasn't everything that I needed, right? Like, so if that's you today, if you can relate to that, I just want you to take some time and think about, what small step can you take tomorrow or today to give back to yourself? And start doing that daily or weekly or monthly. So that way when a holiday does roll around, your needs are truly met, and everything that comes is a bonus. And everything that comes you get to truly enjoy, because your needs are met. It doesn't matter if you go out to dinner with your family or your mother-in-law, or like you have to deal with the crowds, because your needs are met. You don't need that extra nap because you already had it. You're not in the line for the restaurant feeling frustrated, angry, and exhausted because you didn't do for yourself what you already should have done. You're in that line feeling like you can handle it. It's whatever. Like, it's frustrating, but like, hey, it is what it is, because you've already taken care of yourself. So take care of yourself. Take care of your needs. And I promise it'll pay not only yourself, but others tenfold, and you'll feel amazing. All right, guys, catch you next week. Hey, friend, if you found this episode super helpful, or even a little bit helpful, maybe insightful in some way, share it with another mom friend, because it takes a village. We can't do this life alone. And sometimes the things that we can verbalize, somebody else needs to say it before we realize that that's exactly what we needed to hear, or that's exactly what we needed to learn, or that's exactly what we needed to do, or that's exactly the way we felt. And so if that's you, if you feel like there's other mom friends that you have that could benefit from feeling like they aren't alone, or they aren't the only ones, then I urge you to share this podcast with them and give them a little piece of life back, like you found yourself in here, as I hope you have. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any other episodes, and leave a review. I'd appreciate to see what your thoughts are, and maybe what some episodes you would like to see are. So I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I appreciate you for listening. You're truly amazing, and I hope you know that.